You know, one day you may wake up to check your sales and all of a sudden there's no sales. You're like, what the heck happened? Why did my sales just go from 20 a day to 5 a day or maybe to 0? You're like, what the heck just happened? I want to give you a few things to check to see if one of these might be the reason. The number one reason is your account is suspended or your product is suspended. So that's the first thing you want to check and see if you get an alert or an email from Amazon that you got suspended or the product got suspended for some reason. Could be for customer complaints. It could be for a review that was left where someone used a really bad word, or they said, your product caught their house on fire or something like that. It could be because you had a greater than 5% return rate. It could be because maybe your main image, you were using some sort of graphic in there. Whatever the reason is, that's the most often when sales just suddenly go way down or they stop, it's because either your account or your listing got suspended. So that's the first thing to check. The second thing is to make sure you actually have inventory that's available, and make sure you didn't actually run out of stock, and make sure it actually says in stock. It's not in the reserve section or in the one of the other sections where it's being moved around. So make sure you actually have inventory in stock that's available for sale, because that can sometimes you might have got it wiped out and just didn't realize it. Another one is maybe you've been running promo discounts, either the promotional discounts, so they're like the little orange buttons down at the bottom, or the little buttons that are below the title and stuff, where it's like a $3 off coupon or a 10% off that you set up. Maybe some of those expire. The expiration date when you set it for like a month in advance, and you just forgot, and that fell off. So all of a sudden your sales went down because a lot of people have been clipping those coupons. So check those coupons and those promo discounts to make sure they didn't actually expire. Another one is, what if you lost the buy box? The buy box, remember we've talked about, is where when someone's on the listing, they just hit add to cart. That's the buy box, where you're the person when they hit add to cart, you're the one that they're buying from. Make sure that someone else didn't come in, a hijacker or a reseller or arbitrager didn't come in on your listing, and maybe they have a better seller performance score than you, or a lower price, and they took it away. Or maybe you priced yourself out. You did pricing bands. Amazon has what's called pricing bands, and if you price, they know that in certain categories things should sell between a certain price. So like if I'm selling something for $10 and all of a sudden it becomes $99, Amazon may be like, wait a minute, this must be a typo, this could be a problem, so they suspend the listing because they think maybe you goofed. So if you've been doing a strategy where you slowly raise your price from a low price to a higher price as you're launching, don't go too high. Or maybe I had a product in the past where I was selling it for $69. As soon as I made it $70, I lost the buy box, and it was getting frustrating. So I had to keep it at $69 or contact Amazon and say, hey, can you adjust my bands, my buy box bands, because this product really should be at like $80. So that could happen. Or it could be like we talked about in another module, where you're selling on another platform or someone else is selling it. It might not even be you. Maybe someone else is selling it on another platform at a lower price, and Amazon is monitoring that, and they've discovered that they don't have the best price, and they've decided to not give you the buy box as a result. And make sure all your ads are active. Sometimes you've been running PPC ads, and for some reason they cut off. Maybe you had a date in there that said run this ad to a certain date, and you forgot about the date. Or maybe your credit card got declined. Maybe you have a credit card tied to your PPC account because you're trying to get airline miles or points or something for all your ad spend. There's cards like the Chase Ink card that gives you like 3 times the points for all your ad spend on Amazon. That can really add up really fast if you're spending a lot of money. Maybe the credit card got declined or the expiration date, and so all your ads just quit running. So check that as well and see if that could be a problem. Another problem could be, and this is more so about getting paid, they usually won't suspend your account over this, but if you're expecting a payment and the payment didn't come, they normally come like clockwork every 2 weeks, and you didn't get your payment, it could be because the credit card that's on your account is expired, or it's no good anymore. If that happens, then Amazon will actually not pay you. They require a valid active credit card be live on your Seller Central account. Even if they never charge you, even if you're not using it for advertising, it's required to be there. And if it's not active and or not live or gets declined for some reason, if they just try to run $1 on there to make sure it's still active, they'll withhold your payments, and that can be another thing. Another thing is someone could be underbidding you. Someone could be on your listing and doing arbitrage against you. That's against similar to the buy box, where you've lost the buy box. Someone maybe you offered things at a 50% discount, or you use one of the rebate services where there's people that, that are now playing the rebate game where they will go to these sites that do rebates, and they'll get stuff basically for free. The way the rebates work is they will buy the product at full price, and then after a period of time, they either get a part of the money or all of the money back. So they're basically, in some cases, getting the product for free, and then they'll turn around and resell that product on your listing at full price, or maybe a couple bucks below you, and that can cause problems too. That's a rebate arbitrage. It's a new thing. Also, you want to make sure you're still indexing in the A9 search engine. Make sure someone hasn't actually moved your category. You can use the alerts tool from Helium 10 that will monitor this, but make sure you're still actually indexing in the A9. You can use the index checker tool to do this as well. Maybe you got moved into a different category. Maybe some of your top keywords that were converting before. Remember I said in one of the other modules, Amazon has a list of keywords that are for certain categories. Maybe internally at Amazon, they moved a couple of your best keywords into another category, and you're not in that category. So you should check for that to see if something like that has happened and it is causing a problem. Another thing is sometimes you might get moved into the adult classification by accident, or maybe a malicious competitor did that to you. So make sure of that. Another thing is maybe you're in your search terms. You added a couple extra search terms and you're over 250 bytes. If you're over 250 bytes, they can de-index you. And maybe some of the keywords that were in your search terms were driving a lot of your sales. And so if you're over 250, that's not characters, that's bytes. That can actually cause you to be delisted. Or maybe your title is too long. You had an old title in there, and Amazon changed the rules, and they said your title has to be under 200 characters, or maybe your category is under 50 characters, and your title's too long, so they've de-indexed you. Those things can happen, so be very, very careful. You also want to make sure you have active inventory. And active inventory means that you didn't accidentally close the listing, or you didn't actually accidentally suspend the listing, or for something like that happens where you were, maybe you ran out of stock. When you run out of stock, if you're going to be out of stock for more than about a week, we always recommend that you close the listing. It kind of stops the A9 algorithm from counting. And if you close the listing, maybe you forgot to relist it when you came back into stock. You have to hit the little relist button and relist it when you come back in stock. Maybe you forgot to do that. Another reason that you might have gone down, someone changed the title. That's where the alerts tool from Helium 10 comes in. If someone changed your title and your keywords are out of there, that can cause problems as well. Another thing that could happen is you may be caught up in what some people call the Amazon search shuffle. Sometimes Amazon is doing testing, especially from like March to July. The March to July timeframe is kind of the slower timeframe on Amazon. So that's when they do a lot of testing. They test different ads positions, they move stuff around, they test different formats. And so maybe you got caught up in one of these shuffles, or sometimes they'll show part of the country certain things and the rest of the country something else. And so maybe you're listed on page 1, position 2 to some people, and other people they're testing. They're saying, let's give somebody else a chance over here in California, and they're listing them in your spot, and you're down on page 3. So one of the ways you can track this is by using the keyword tracker tool from Helium 10, which will track your positions. But the keyword tracker tool really only goes out about once per day on average and sees where your position is, and it's that moment in time. So whatever time it actually goes out and pulls that's where you were at that moment in time. But if you need to know where you are like hourly, because you can see all the hourly shifts, you can get like a graph and you can see all the hourly shifts, you want to turn on the boost. So when you go in the keyword tracker, there's an option there. It doesn't cost you any extra money or anything. Just click on the boost option, and then it will go out and it will go every hour and see where your position is. So you can see that, hey, look, 12 hours of the day, something happened. I wasn't on page 1 anymore. This keyword was like off the charts or something. And so you'll know kind of what's going on, and you don't have to freak out and go, oh my God, you're not looking through your listing trying to figure something out. Amazon's just playing around, or maybe they're updating the index and everything's getting shuffled around. So that's another thing that you want to definitely check on. Another thing that can hurt you in the same thing is seasonality. I mean, seasonality on Amazon is huge. The biggest season is Christmas by far. It's, as far as holidays go, Christmas in the United States is over 600 billion with a B dollars in sales of people buying stuff. The next closest holiday after that is Mother's Day, and it's down at like 20 billion. And so it's like 30 times less. And then it goes down to Easter and Father's Day and Valentine's Day are the next big holidays. And Valentine's Day is like $12 billion in extra sales. So those are the 5 big seasons. And summer is technically not a holiday, but it's a season also on Amazon. So depending on what you're selling, it could be seasonality. If you're selling barbecue grills and things that are people are buying in the summer, swimming products or whatever, you're going to see a big boost from like May until July. If you're selling back to school stuff, you're going to see boost in July and August, and maybe again in early January or late December. If you're selling Christmas stuff, usually Christmas starts picking up in October, and Christmas actually goes into January. People think that, well, once Christmas is here, it's done with. It's not true. January is a really good month on Amazon because for 2 reasons. People are in a buying mode. It's a new year. They got New Year's resolutions. They're buying new things to change their life or change whatever they're doing. Plus, a lot of people get gifts that they don't want, and they're returning them to Amazon, and they're exchanging them for something they do want, which might be your product, or they got gift cards as a gift, and they're redeeming those. So January is really good. So seasonality could play a factor too in your sales. So you got to keep that in mind as well. Another thing is negative reviews. Maybe someone just came on your listing, and this is really the alerts tool will help you too, and you got a really bad review, and that review is just crushing you, because it takes about 12 positive reviews to reverse 1 negative review. So 1 negative review, you're going to need to get about 12 positive reviews to kind of counterbalance that 1 negative review. And a negative review on Amazon is anything 3 stars or less. 3 is technically neutral, but 3, 2, or 1 stars is a negative review. And that could hurt you. Maybe your star rating went from a 4.6 to a 4.5 or something like that. Just because of 1 review. Now, once you get over about 200 or so reviews, I actually want some negative reviews. I don't want these really bad ones that are just like slamming the products and just horrible and that get voted up. But if you have over 200 reviews and you're like straight 5 stars, people actually get suspicious. So when you get over about 200 reviews, it's actually good to have a few negative ones because it actually makes it look more authentic and people are more likely to believe it. And like I said in the last module, I always go in and post a response on every 1 and 2 star review, and some 3 stars, but every 1, 2 star review, I post a very positive response, no accusations, apologizing, saying we'll fix the problem, or addressing the issue or answering whatever the complaint was, just so that people see that I'm a company that cares and that we want to make sure you're happy. And the other thing that could be causing you to go down, so I hear this from some people, I've been selling so good for a year. Your sales just aren't what they used to be. Amazon's not what it used to be. It could be because everything has a life cycle. All products on Amazon have a life cycle. It's usually, if it's not a fad product, if it could be 1, 2, 3 years, but there's going to be a cycle of products. And what happens a lot of times when you're successful is competition comes in. People come in, they start playing the Amazon game better. They have a better price. They've read your reviews, and there's people complaining about something, and they fixed it. Or they know how to rank themselves better. They got better pictures or whatever. Competition can hurt you. And so you always got to be staying on top of your game. This is not a passive business where you do something once and you sit back. You got to stay on top of it. And so competition usually is a big reason why you start seeing a sales decline. And it could be fair competition or it could be unfair competition. But competition's competition. So that's another thing. So that's why I'm always looking for new products and new things. Now, I do have a small portfolio. I'm not one of these guys with 1,000 products. I have like 20 to 30 products, depends on the time, and I kind of manage those as my portfolio. But they're constantly changing. The 20 some odd products I have live right now on Amazon, only 1 or 2 of them have been there since the beginning. The rest of them, they're cycling in. New things are coming. I show some examples here in the course of different products, and most of those I don't even sell anymore. Not because they sucked. It's just they have a life cycle, and a competition comes in, and I move on to something else. I don't get married to that product. So these are just some of the things that can cause you to actually have a problem, or that you should consider if you're starting to see a decline or in your sales, or all of a sudden sales just disappear overnight. So hopefully this has helped you, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next module.